Hello, I'm Rick Ott, broker owner of Remax Homestead in Copperas Cove, Texas. Today I just want to cover some of the things that we're encountering in our marketplace, buyer expectations. Some of the things that I've noticed over the last couple of years, the way we approached home buyers has definitely it's changed. It's morphed into something that it wasn't even just 2 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. Nowadays, buyers come to you because of the internet and all the resources out there. They already have an idea of the home that they want to see. So it's pretty common to meet a buyer and only show them a handful of homes. You know, if you show somebody 10 houses, you've shown them a lot of houses. In this marketplace, when a home buyer starts their search, to make things easier on them and their agent, there's a couple of things that you're gonna have to re-educate yourself on and maybe make adjustments to your expectations. It used to be in this market, the seller always paid the buyer's closing costs. Buyers could really come to the table with very little money, if any. That's not the thing anymore. One, the buyer has to be prepared to pay their own closing costs. How you know what that number is, you talk to your lender, ask your lender and say, hey, how much am I going to need to cover me closing on this specific address or this price point home? And they'll give you, an estimated number. I always tell people, be prepared to have, $6,000, $7,000 to close on a house. Also, what happens if you're in a situation where you find a home for $350,000, but to get the home you've got to bid $370,000. You need to be prepared to have that difference in cash over what that property is going to appraise. I see a lot of real estate agents out there overbidding on properties, just trying to get the transaction for their client, not realizing that an educated broker, an educated realtor is going to look at that and go, but this is a government loan, this is a VA or FHA contract you sent me. And so the buyer, unless they have the cash in their bank account, there's not a whole lot that the seller can do to force the buyer to pay more than it appraises. And so then the sellers will just terminate and put it back on the market. And so a lot of agents see that as smokescreen, like, hey, you sent me this VA offer, you did bid $20,000 over, but we know that that's not actually there. Do you have a proof of funds letter showing that the buyer can pay the difference? And then even then, when you have a situation like that, you have to know and understand VA loans. Just because a house may not have appraised and there's that $20,000 difference there, and the buyer has to pay that, that buyer needs to go back to their lender and let the lender know that they're going to pay the difference, and the bank is going to tell them actually what that will cost them, because depending on how many times they've used the VA loan, it actually could be more than that $20,000. They may also have to pay a percentage on that money. So make sure that they're checking that. Also, a lot of buyers are getting upset with their real estate agents when their agent shows them 15 houses and can't seem to get one of them under contract. That's not your agent. That's the market. It's super competitive, and some of that as a buyer may be on you. You may not have the ability to pay more or to make your offer look better. And so in that scenario, let's say you have a pre-qual letter for $350,000. My recommendation would be not look at homes over 300, so that perhaps you can afford to overbid, but even then the property still has to appraise, and so you're just going to have cash. It's very difficult now. And I have agents in my office that tell me, hey, we always ask, do you have, $10,000 cash, or do you have $20,000 cash, just in case we have to, pay our own closing costs or pay title policy, or do things to entice our offer. Like, we know this house will appraise for 300, we're going to bid 305, and we're going to guarantee that we'll pay that extra 5,000 that it doesn't appraise. And so the buyer, you have to be prepared for that, and understand that in a lot of these properties that you go into, there's multiple offers, sometimes more than a dozen offers on a property, and you're just going to have to be able to support that competitiveness of the market. If not, you can't turn around and blame your agent and be upset that the realtor has spent all this time. I have an agent in my office that's written 15 offers for one client and not gotten anything. That's just the market, and that's how that's going to happen. So buyer expectations, be prepared to have some money. Be prepared to overpay, and be prepared for some frustrations, because you're definitely going to have, it's a struggle. You have to start earlier than you would have normally needed to, and you're going to have to do some work to get into that property. Again, my name is Rick Ott. Thank you so much.